welcome to another episode of playonultra podcast. This is episode 189.
Woo.
Woo! 11 away from 200.
That's a year.
Like a year away.
That's a year away. That's a year
Woo!
away.
Yikes.
I couldn't believe me and Fo, we used to do this every fucking week.
I
What was
remember
wrong with
that.
us? Did we
do? I'm trying to remember when
You
I joined. Did we do weekly?
60 something. I'm not sure if you did. Really?
Maybe
Is
no.
it weekly?
I thought you did, but I don't remember.
Because we moved from like weekly to bi-weekly and then now monthly.
Oh.
It's just
Yeah.
It might have been bi-weekly.
I thought it was bi-weekly, but I could be wrong.
we
I
did
think
weekly
it
for
was.
a little bit. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
stupid. I don't know why we did that.
I mean, we
There's-
didn't get real detailed on the news. Like we weren't
that's
even necessarily talking about like our weeks as like I feel like even now we talk more about our weeks than we did back then.
That's true.
Yeah, that's fair.
Honestly, I kind of just look at this as an excuse to get together and talk the shit, kind of shit. the shit kind of
Kinda.
thing. Yeah.
I have friends.
Which is what most podcasts are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of them are not
yeah,
scripted.
People don't repeatedly listen to podcasts for the content. Like they do that the first times for the content. The repeated listens are because of the personalities.
The people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
background noise sometimes. A lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say I haven't listened to a podcast because of background noise. I've never listened to a podcast again because of the background noise or lack of background noise. I've never been like, oh yeah, like that's worth listening to. Like, what they're saying is crap, but man, that background,
Man, I can just tune that out.
it's so quiet. Yeah.
So nice.
So yeah. Wasn't that long ago we recorded the last one actually.
It was not. I was
that
like,
long ago.
I haven't done too much. I got married again, so that was cool.
that is cool.
But yeah, but I haven't really done much. I'm just kind of at this point waiting for Endwalker from Final Fantasy XIV to drop. At the time of this recording, there's another live live letter from the producer, so I'll have to hear all about those things afterwards.
Nice.
So.
Did you do
Yep.
anything else, or was the wedding and everything was just taking up all of your time?
Oh, I saw the new James Bond movie.
Oh.
I'm not a huge. So let me be very clear. I'm not a huge James Bond person.
Yeah, I find those
my
movies
mother.
boring as hell.
I don't think
they're
Oh no, it's not true. I've seen at least one James Bond movie start to finish. I've seen bits of most of them.
fair enough. I did grow up with them technically. My
Oh.
parents really like James Bond. Yeah, so like
Which one?
I'm not.
Are they Sean Connery?
They like Sean Connery and Bosman.
Pierce
which one
Pierce
is-
Brosnan?
Pierce Brosnan. Sorry, like names.
He did quite a few,
Pierce,
right?
Yep.
He did.
Yeah. I would say those are the two like big ones that I kind of grew up. Even if I like didn't know the names exactly, that's the one. Like when people say the titles, I'm like, oh yeah, those ones.
Is this still Daniel Craig?
This is the last one of Daniel Craig.
Whatever happened to that? We're gonna get a black James Bond thing.
Well, if you don't mind
Or
a
Lady
teeny
Bond.
bit spoilers, they're teeny spoilers because it happens at the beginning of the movie. So the beginning of the movie, Daniel Craig's James Bond.
Jesus.
No,
That's not a
he's like
teeny
been,
spoiler.
no. He's like out. He's like been out of the life for like a couple of years. And so a new 007 has been named. For
Drama?
that's the whole point.
Okay.
Yeah, drama. Exactly. It is drama. And it is a black woman.
Oh,
So,
Ooh,
yeah.
a black woman. That's like
Yes.
double the politics. No, triple.
I know.
Quadruple,
The only-
whatever.
The only thing that's disappointing is like they really could have made her super cool, and she is cool, don't get me wrong, but her whole thing is she's super by the books, and they talk about that like you're so by the books unlike that other 007. But like halfway through the movie she like lets him have the 007 title back, and it's all dramatic. And I won't say anything else because it'll spoil the rest of the movie. But that part was a little unfortunate. They really could have made her much more cool than she really was. Because honestly, if they said she was the next James Bond, I'd be like, that's cool. But they didn't really give her much of a chance to shine. So this is
I
definitely
thought
a
it was
Daniel
like
Craig's
a passing
last.
of the torch kind of thing. gonna be.
That's what I thought it would be, but it's hard to tell with how
dumb.
things are.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I can't really tell what they're gonna do next. And also people would be mad. But this is definitely Daniel Craig's final movie. And yeah, we'll see. It was a decent movie. They definitely pulled a lot of, this is the final of this iteration of James Bond tropes, which I won't spoil. But I mean, if you like James Bond, it's probably worth watching. If you like Daniel Craig's James Bond, it's definitely worth watching. But I only saw, of Daniel Craig's, I saw like every other one. So I saw Casino Royale, which was the first one. I skipped the second one, which everyone says was the worst one, so that's fine. I watched Skyfall, which is like one of the best ones, and then I skipped the one in between, which everyone says is and then I saw this one.
Holy shit, there's way more James Bond movies than I thought there were.
Yeah. Yep, this is number 5. So
Holy hell.
I'm not
It was like 20 or
if
something, right?
yeah. If you don't care much about James Bond, it's not worth watching. It unless you like are interested, it's not really worth it. It's got cool fight scenes and it's all spy tech like, so that's cool. But I would say this is more of if you're a fan of James Bond, and especially if you like Daniel Craig's James Bond, make sure you watch it. But it is what it is.
Yes. I don't know. It just always bored me. Just there's nothing compelling about it.
That's
for
fair.
me.
That's fair.
Just, yeah.
I can't tell you. I've it's always been kind of a spy movie. Like it was just always this is where the tropes come from. That's what it was to me. So I'm not saying that makes it good or bad. Just it is what it is. I will say, like, I'm not huge in the spy. Like, I like spy movies, but I usually prefer more noir.
I like
movies,
comedy. I like it may not be like completely like comedy, but if it's funny, so like Man from U.N.C.L.E., that one I really liked. That was really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's an underrated film.
They were really funny. I like the dynamic of the characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
I feel like also the Jason Bourne series did a little bit better on the action side of things, if that's what you really care about.
But that one is the one that... Is that the one that introduced all those fucking cuts? Like every hit they cut, and it's just really hard to follow what's happening? Is that
Is
that
it?
a series that's talking
I don't
about?
remember. I don't remember.
be.
I know Taken does it a lot.
It could be Jason Bourne. It's been a hot minute since I've seen Jason Bourne. My mom also likes Jason Bourne. What is it with spy movies that have JB? There's another famous spy that also has a JB initials.
Really?
I don't know why.
Isn't
yes,
it just
there's
James
this other
Bourne and Jason Bourne?
Jason Bourne, James Bond. There's a third one. I feel like it starts with a John. He's not as well known, but I know
John
there's
Wick.
a third
John
one.
Bick. He's
I
a
know.
pen assassin.
I forget his name, but maybe it's Jack. It might be Jack something.
Oh, Jack Bauer.
Jack Black? Oh, Jack
Jack
Bauer.
Bauer. Jack Bauer. That's
24.
why. Why is there 3 of them? Why are they all JBs? Anyway,
Okay. That's
But
a
yeah.
I
Be a
gotta write
funny
that
thing
down for
that
a parody.
writers decided. Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, it's super strange, right? I don't know.
Those creative juices are flowing.
Yeah.
No, it's just an idea
Honestly-
for when I get more juice.
But yeah, honestly, like, my wife also likes James Bond, but I would say if you want to know where all the tropes come from, James Bond is where it comes from. But otherwise, like, unless you're really into spy thrillers and Cold War stuff, it's probably not your cup of tea, which I don't blame you. So it is what it is. But yeah, I think, did I see anything else? We're hoping to see the Eternals soon, which is going to be interesting
Are you gonna
because
watch Dune?
I'm sorry?
Dune.
Oh, Dune.
Is
I
that
never
not
read-
a thing? Is that not like
No,
on your radar?
No, no, I know it. I never read the books though. My brother did though, and so I might watch it for his sake. I never read the book, so I feel weird watching it. But that's just me. I have nothing against it. But
The only thing I know of Dune is like growing up, the games were difficult for me to play as a kid.
I know it's where using the idea of spice comes from for drugs paraphernalia in most sci-fi, and I also learned recently it's how like there's a strange amount of sci-fi that have weird sandworm creatures like Star Wars and Mass Effect. Apparently it came from Dune. That was a trope that it was invented from Dune. So fun fact for the day. That's the main. I also know Dune has a bit of a chosen one, kind of some, not Jesus, but kind of a chosen one mythos as well. Yeah.
That's, that is at least, I think, kind of mechanically explained, where they have these royal. So I read the books back in high school, so we'll see how much I remember.
Yeah.
There's there's like royal houses, like Game of Thrones style.
Yes.
And then there's like this, kind of like in Game of Thrones, you know how the maesters, like their necklaces, and like, we know basic science, kind of. So it's that kind of relationship where the houses will have like a person who helps like raise their children. And that cult of people who helps raise the children, they will plan, they'll make plans that span for generations. And so they'll kind of like subtly like almost do like eugenics, to like, oh yeah, this is the better bloodline. If this person from this house happened to breed with this person from this house, then we're going to train them to do certain things. So like the main character is the culmination of a 1,000-year long like biological experiment, basically, sort of. He's not like, not to say that he's like the perfect human, but he's just like tailored to do like the thing that cult wanted him to do, I guess.
How sci-fi is it? As in, like,
it's very sci-fi.
How much of it is like, it's so sci-fi it kind of looks like magic?
A lot of it. So like the way their ships get around is so there's like what are they called? I can't remember what they're called, but there's a character called the Guild Navigator. So I assume there was like the Guild of Navigator. I'm not sure, but anyway, the Guild Navigator. And he looks like a giant fetus. Sort of. Not a human fetus. It's just, he doesn't look human. He's like...
Oh, does he look like MODOK?
Like a long MODOK. Like if you crossed MODOK with a cuttlefish. Like, because he lives like in this vat of like gas. So he just kind of extends off into the gas. And you just see like his gross face and his two hands. I think he can't survive outside of it. So, but he used to be a human. He used to be a regular guy. And they just fed him spice until like his brain was like so crazy.
What? Spice?
He could spice.
It's a drug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like that's like
spice.
That's the main like.
Yeah.
That's the shit they mine from like a planet or something.
It's
right?
the main like MacGuffin of like the main driving force of the whole plot.
Like
the whole
Ezo.
Universe. Okay.
Yeah.
Like think Ezo for Mass Effect.
I didn't get that far. But the point, the Navigator now is so non-human, he can like use his brain to hold space and like move ships, basically. So that's pretty magical to me.
Ships.
He moves ships with his mind.
But you say full space, so what is he doing? Oh, full space as a wormhole.
Oh, well, I guess, yeah, maybe the ship doesn't... I mean, it's all relative, right? Like, he just... it's kind of like... You know, like the metaphor from science, like if you have a piece of paper, and like if you fold it, then you can... Yeah, it's
so like a wormhole,
they refer to it that way. Yeah, okay. He makes a wormhole, basically.
Yeah. Spice is basically like a drug that they mine. I relate it to Ezo Element Zero, because that's how in Mass Effect everything operates. It's the discovery of Element Zero. And so, yeah, people take this drug, like these navigators, and yeah, you don't, I guess if you take too much, you end up like that, but it's how you can do space travel, by using it. It makes you like hyper intelligent.
I hope he get paid a lot. Like,
I also don't understand.
Is he like a prisoner?
Yeah, like I feel like if you can fold space with your mind, I feel like you're real close to godhood at that point. Like, why are you helping out people at all? Like, I don't understand what his motivation is to be like the ship's engine at that point.
Cosmic power
to continue to survive,
space.
I guess. Can't survive
maybe,
outside the
but
gas.
Can't he just take it? Maybe he just maybe it's something like that. But it folds. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird, very specific niche power. You don't really. There's no like Guild Navigator character. He's almost just like a setting. He's just like a prop. So like you don't know like his personality or like what his dreams are. Or any of that stuff.
There like space religion and shit? Feels like
they don't really mention like religion per se, but everything is very. Culty. If you just saw pictures, it looks religious. Like it's very gothic. You know, like in Star Wars, you have like, here's like the hole on the ship where the ships fly in, and it's just like a hole with a force field. In Dune, it's like it looks like a church window, you know? It's like this huge, there's a lot of ripples, like it's very like architectured and dramatic and fluffy and not utilitarian.
I feel like I'm gonna piss off a lot of people by saying this, but it kind of sounds like some similarities with 40K.
No, I don't think it's gonna piss anybody off. People watching it, yeah, it's a 40K is not very original.
you know how
Yeah.
fans of things are. It's like, it's like,
Oh. I mean, I was on even today on the Warhammer subreddit, someone was pointing out, like, oh yeah, do you think the bad guys are like the Space Marines chapter of Space Wolves? Because like just aesthetically, they look kind of more Viking-y, barbarian-y in this new movie. It's like, yeah, sure, people can see it. Yeah. And Psychers are a thing
sounds
in
kind of
Warhammer.
interesting. But I think I remember people saying there's like quite a huge cliffhanger or something at the end or something like that.
Well, this
I would
movie
be
is just the
surprised.
half of the first book, I think.
Oh, did you watch
Yeah.
it? Oh,
I know, I haven't watched it yet.
it's quite a lot of books,
Yeah,
right?
there's I think it's a trilogy.
I
Oh,
think
okay.
I think there's like the core trilogy, but there's at least like 5 or more books like in the universe.
I could believe that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know if all of them
there's-
are authored by the main guy or some like authored by his children, kind of like Lord of the Rings type stuff.
Right. I just know because my brother mentioned it that one of the books, I don't know which one, that is a sequel to the first book is like meant to be, I think. Maybe that's a spoiler. Maybe that's a
The
spoiler. I don't
prequel?
know.
Oh.
No, it's after. It's just meant to be related to the main character.
see.
And there's things that happen that are, I guess it's a spoiler, so I won't say anything more. Because I'm not even sure if the movies are going to take place with it or not. So, I've been interested in reading the books, but I've heard they're very dry. It's like because they're
pretty-
older. They're
Yeah, it's older. It's just hard. It's like reading Lord of the Rings, kind of. It's just not easy
Exactly.
at this point.
yeah, and I wish I just had more patience for books like that, but I barely read these days, so I don't know. But we'll see. I'm sure I'll probably end up seeing Doom because it does. My brother's a pretty decent fan of the books.
Did either of
So
you
I
watch the
don't feel
previous movie, the older one, with like
I
Patrick
didn't.
Stewart and okay?
Patrick Stewart was in that movie?
I mean,
The
briefly, he's not the main
1980s?
character. He's in it.
Okay.
Sting, the musician Sting, is in it.
That's a
Who's the main
weird
actor? Kyle
lineup.
MacLachlan. Kyle MacLachlan, the main character. Max von Sydow is in it. The actor who plays Grima Wormtongue is in it. There's just a lot of people. I think it's like there's a ton of people in it. Like kind of like the current Dune. We're like, holy crap! Everybody
Yeah.
is somebody. Like,
Right.
you know,
There's a lot of characters.
there's no small parts.
Yeah, it's an ensemble cast.
Yeah. So the old one's worth watching. I mean, I think if you watched it, there's a chance it would scare you off from watching the new one because it's not a good movie, but it's a
I've
very
heard that.
bizarre and fun movie. And
I've heard it's
Toto
not
does the
great.
soundtrack, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I've heard it's not a great movie, but
It doesn't
fair
explain
enough. Fair enough.
shit. It's so confusing. if you hadn't read the books, it'll just make no sense to you.
That's great. But yeah, unfortunately, I haven't really done much else. I've been pretty quiet and just kind of taking things day by day. Like I said, I know we're going to be watching Eternals probably soon, although that one got heavily review bombed by critics. I'm not
why?
I actually don't know why.
Wait. When you
I
say
haven't
critics,
really-
do you mean like
By
professional
actual
reviewers?
critics? Yeah.
Apparently, yes.
Oh.
Like actual reviewers, yes. Like not like people were mad because a woman was in it and review
Gotcha.
bombed, but like critics really lambasted it. I will
Honestly,
admit,
the trailer looked weird. Like it's just
yeah, it
Yeah.
I
does.
don't find
Yeah,
it weird though.
Eternals is weird. That's the problem. Like the Eternals, like that story is strange. It's anyway. But a friend of mine did see it recently. She quite liked it, so I'm wondering. We're not really sure why. I wouldn't be surprised if this end up being their weakest movie, just because Marvel needs to try to make a group of basically immortal superheroes that watch but don't intervene like interesting. So we'll see about that. I was confident with the What If series. I thought that did a really good job,
That was
but
a
that
good
was
one.
just that was good. I really liked how that went. But that's because they had to just deal with the Watcher being the only one who had that, and it was kind of cool. We got to see him kind of grow into being like, "Oh, I got to intervene." But I don't know how I feel about a whole group of superheroes that's just been hanging out on Earth doing this stuff, so we'll see. I do know one controversy that's making some people kind of upset. I don't know how to feel about it because I don't know the context of it.
Okay.
So I take this with a little grain of salt. This is one of those like Twitter argument things.
Okay.
There is a character who is canonically gay. I don't know how they say he's gay, but they say he's gay somehow. But I guess he somehow, in some way, probably not super directly, but probably indirectly related, somehow caused like the nuclear bombs on Hiroshima. I don't know the context. Literally, I think all that people are getting from it is you see that character going, like, basically, no, it's my fault, or something like that in relation to that. But, like, no context at all. I don't know what that is.
I don't understand the relation between the...
What? Why should I think it's the idea of, like, we have a gay person and they did something inexplicably evil. And I'm like, well, this is the Eternals. I'm going to have a feeling that they're all going to be probably feeling responsible for something. But that's just me. To me, I feel that's a little bit much.
Very much gods, more or less, right?
Right.
They're very Superman-like.
And gods are all assholes. Like, that's just how it is.
Yeah, whether they're gay or not.
Yeah.
There's no winning.
Yeah.
If you take action, then you screw something up. If you don't take action, then why didn't you help?
Oh my gosh, it's the Jedi dilemma. Anyway, I won't get into that. But yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I haven't seen the Eternals yet. I expect that it's probably going to be very like okay, and that's fine. I don't need the Eternals to be good. I'm not that concerned.
Is it?
I don't expect to want a second one.
Is it going to come out on Disney Plus?
Probably. I'm going to guess so.
Something like what was the last one they did that with? Oh, Shang-Chi. I haven't watched
Shang-Chi
it.
and
I did
Black
see that.
Widow.
But did I talk about this in the last podcast or no?
I don't
think
know
I did.
if you did.
I have seen Shang-Chi since then.
Okay.
It's good.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Tony Leung's good. I know.
Yeah, good action. CGI was. I could have done with maybe a scotch less, but like all the acting was good. I thought the comedic side support was good. I liked it. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's worth watching.
Slightly above average for Marvel.
Agreed.
I'd put it in the upper half of the Marvel movies.
Yes, especially compared to other single character Marvel movies.
For sure.
I would say it ranks pretty high.
Yes, that's a good distinction. Yeah.
Yeah. I like to divide Marvel in those categories, the group movies versus the single character movies, because some of them I feel like are just not fair comparisons. But yeah, as far as like in single character movies, I think Shang-Chi ranks one of the highest in my categories compared to some of the others.
What are the other single ones?
Well, I'm talking like
Black
Iron
Widow.
Man.
Like one shots or
Black
like
Widow.
the first original?
Oh, you mean it's non-ensemble movies? I thought you meant one shots.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah. Like they're just them versus the ensemble.
I really enjoyed Black Widow. Like I really enjoyed it. It's so good.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy Shang-Chi. I really like Black Widow too.
I definitely like this more than Black Widow. I like Shang-Chi more than Black Widow.
I kind of did too, not because Black Widow was bad, but I don't know. It's hard to explain unless you see it. But I did really like Black Widow. Yes.
The only thing that's kind of like making me feel a little bit about the movie is the main actor was found out to be a men's rights kind of.
Oh no.
Really?
Yeah, really.
What happened? Like, what did he say?
The main good guy actor or the main bad guy actor?
Oh no, the main bad guy is like totally a cool guy, Tony Leung.
Okay, he seems cool. Yeah.
Fucking A. And he's from Hong Kong, so. What did he say? He said things when he was younger. He was even part of like, people found his tweets from back then, and he's also he also made posts on the Reddit, the subreddit for the men's rights, the MRAs.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. Does he still say he is subscribed, or is he not?
Don't quote me on this, because this was like a while back when Shang-Chi first came out and people found all this shit, because you know how it is.
I didn't even see that. Yeah, I didn't even see this.
Don't quote me on this, but I think he doubled down. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not super sure on that. I think people mentioned to him, and he kind of, or he did say maybe like I was younger or something. I'm not, but he didn't apologize. It's like one of those things. I'm not really super sure.
Yeah.
It's either he doubled down on it, or I was younger but didn't apologize for it. So he might still have the same views. But that's just. I mean, I will eventually watch it. I guess, probably in some way that they would make money. So it's just. But you know the dilemma. Like, you watch The Good Place, right? There's no moral consumption anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care what people think. I want to know what he said.
Yeah.
Off topic, I just saw a picture. Apparently, Laurie Holden of Walking Dead fame is playing the Crimson Countess in The Boys Season 3, and that's pretty cool.
Ooh, The Boys
like
season
her.
3. When is that coming out?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm excited for that one. The Boys was really good, and
Yeah.
Invisible was really good.
Yeah. Oh, I'm reading a lot of Spawn right now on top of comics. And while I like the
these
character,
ones.
yeah,
Oh,
um,
kind of
they're
hard to
not
read
great
sometimes, right?
comics.
Yeah,
There's a lot of reading, and it's very repetitive,
And the art
things take
style,
a
too, is-
long time to happen, and a lot of the story is trying to get you to buy into like these mini-series crossovers. Like, there's like every
With Witchblade
page, I'm
and stuff?
exaggerating. Every page is an asterisk from the editor being like, previous episode of Spawn, or like the Violator miniseries. And just like, I'm not buying this stuff. Like, I'm only reading Spawn, right? I bought like some omnibus. It's like, it's like 2,000 pages. And it's an e-comic. I'm not storing this.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I'm not really enjoying it.
Yeah,
wish it was better.
I tried reading the old Spawns too. It was quite a hard read, and I'm not into the whole mid-90s muscle up to your neck aesthetic.
Yeah.
You remember
gets-
that? Yeah.
It gets a little better in the sense that like his costume changes, but it kind of changes in the way where it leans more into it and gets spikier. You're like, this is even goofier. This is awesome. But like, yeah, it's very 90s. I don't know. I don't know why. I just wish it was better. It's very disappointing. On top of good comics, I read a couple of good indie comics. One of them was called Headlopper, which is about a barbarian who runs around and he has a witch's head, and his main thing is cutting people's heads off. But it's pretty good. It's almost as if Mike Mignola of Hellboy did Conan the Barbarian. Mike Mignola's not involved, but it looks kind of like him, and the writing seems similar. So I highly recommend Headlopper. And which is ongoing. And then a finished comic that I read, an older comic, is called Scud, the Disposable Assassin. And it's about the main character, Scud, is basically in this world, somebody can go up to a vending machine, put in money, get out a Scud, and they tell the Scud, like, hey, kill this person. And then when the Scud does, the Scud self-destructs, because it's a disposable, like, assassin. So the Scud robot realizes this, and so it doesn't kill its target, and it puts it in a hospital, and now its main job is to just go out and earn money to pay for the hospital bills so it can live for a long time. It's a very weird comic, though. I like it. It's cool. It's imaginative, but like it definitely leans into being weird just for being weird. Like, so that first target, the one that's in the hospital, I'm going to try and describe it to you, but really you need a picture. The monster is, okay, starting from the bottom up. Instead of legs, it has 2 arms, and the elbows are mouths. And then the torso is a squid belted to the torso, and the squid's tentacles hold like laser guns. The monster's actual arms don't have hands, they end in mouse traps. And instead of a head, it has a 3-pronged plug.
Okay,
so that's
you
the
know
monster.
you sound like one of those weird writers in the writing room just making shit up.
Right after
Yeah.
doing cocaine. That's the thing.
Just pretty much. You know what? Don't re-explain it.
How do I spell
yeah.
the thing again? Headlopper?
Scud with a C. Oh, Headlopper's
Oh,
the good one.
Scud
What I'm
with-
describing is Scud, the Disposable Assassin, which I also found out because I googled it to try and find a picture to show somebody something. It was like a PS1 game or something. It's like an old
I remember
game as
this
well,
guy.
based off of it.
Why is he so familiar?
The game, presumably.
Probably. I also used to read a lot of Wizard. I'm not sure if you know that magazine. It's
I
a
know
comic
of
magazine.
it. I didn't read
Yeah.
it.
I used to read a lot of Wizard, so I got a lot of like images in my head, and then like when I see it, I'm like, this looks familiar. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good comic. There is a disclaimer from the author in the beginning. He's like, "Hey, back when I wrote this, I was in a pretty bad place. Like my long-term girlfriend had just broken up with me, so I'm kind of writing from just from this bad place to write, and I think it shows. But
Why was there a lot
there's
of
still some good
insensitive
stuff in there. I mean,
What
the
is he
main character is
apologizing
just. I think he's apologizing for the main character kind of just being kind of mopey.
Oh.
And being
okay.
like, oh, the world sucks, kind of.
Oh, like an
I
emo
don't
guy.
know. It's
He's an emo
Yeah.
assassin. Okay.
And then he's a little emo, and the very ending, like the happy ending, is a little I don't know, it's a little mushy, and it's just like the power of love or whatever. Like there's this one character who, it's like he's like a robot basically, and his mother built him because like she was making a deal with the devil to like get her son back or something like that, and so. Like, the robot's being portrayed as, like, a baby. Like, my mom loved me, and the mom's being a super, like, horrible person to it. And then, like, just fast forward to the end where the mom, like, comes back and they're reunited. And she's like, I love you. And it's like, well, this is a complete character change for no reason whatsoever, just because we wanted to force a happy ending and have everything be happy and close all the threads. So there's it's kind of stuff like that. I don't know. I didn't have a huge problem with it. I didn't really notice what the person was talking about, but it is a little angsty. But no more than most other comics, you know? Like, comic artists are weird. They're like puppeteers. Like, when you see them, like, doing stuff behind the scenes, like, oh yeah, you guys are, like, really horny. Just, like, kind of weird.
Yeah. They're all really horny. What else did you do? Did you play anything?
I did. I played Volcanoids for a few hours.
How was that?
Yeah.
I've always been like interested in that one.
I would say don't buy it right now.
Okay. Early access still, right?
It's early access still. I'm curious to see what... So I guess the reason I didn't have fun, or didn't have enough fun to recommend it, is... so you drop into the world, and you're given quests. Like, just like go over here, mine this thing, come back here, put it in this machine. And the quests do a really good job of making you progress like up like the skill tree, because it's a sandbox game, but they do a terrible job of explaining to you why you're doing things. So like if let's say like if somehow all progress got reset and I didn't have the quests, I would have a very hard time remaking the progress, because it's not clear to me what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, and the UI's not great. So like the main way you progress is you have like this giant drill vehicle, and you can go like underground and above, like all over the place, and you kind of just go through with it. And it has like 6 walls, 3 on each side, and so you can put like a door in one side, obviously, and you can put like like a research station and a building station and a gun turret. It?
Like how big does it?
And then you add more onto the end, like a train.
Oh, like a train. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and so each one gives you 6 more walls to play with. But the problem is like so you can build a storage unit into the side of the thing.
On. It doesn't run on a track, right?
No. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
You don't really drive it in real time. I mean, you kind of do, you kind of don't. So most of the game is like a first-person shooter, or not. It's not a shooter, but like a Minecraft, you know. And you can see the vehicle. But when you're inside the vehicle and you're actually driving it, you're technically like in the dirt. Like you can't drive it on the surface. You can only drive it underground, and that is just like a top-down, 2-dimensional. Like you click and it moves to where you clicked, and it picks up resources in the way. So it's not like actually driving a vehicle. Yeah. And then, I don't know. It's so like the main point of confusion is like just the way inventory is managed, and things are like, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of messy. So I'd hold off a little bit. I don't intend, basically I had like 4 hours to play. I played that for 3 hours, and then I just stopped and played Diablo 2 remastered for like an hour.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all I played. I didn't play, I mean, I was playing New World for a little bit. I didn't play it this week because I hit like level 52, and the grind, the amount of time spent to like achieving things just became too big. I got kind of bored.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I'll actually go back to playing it anytime soon. Yeah.
It's definitely an okay game when I need to like turn my brain off. And I listen to something, like I watch a video on the side, or I call somebody and talk to the person while I cut trees. Like it's just whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of why I stopped, is because I was having fun like doing that grind, even not even like my level, like just grinding my professions, and then like getting to the point where it's like, oh, like how many trees do I have to cut down to like level up? It's like, oh dear, I don't have that in me.
Let's fuck up the environment for those skill points.
Yeah, right.
And also because you have to grind doing all these things, I've reached my max storage capacity for like the first.
Yes.
So then it becomes like a. I don't
like
want to
leveling
throw my shit away.
engineering. Like I made like 20,000 arrows, and it's like I can't store these, so I just dump them on the ground because they're worth like 0.01 gold per. They're not worth selling. Like I spend as much, just like list them, and everyone else is doing it. Like it's the grind just feels bad. It has very strong diminishing returns. I think that's pretty much it.
And
in
also,
terms of watching
like,
things.
I'm not sure about you, but I don't participate in a lot of the like multiplayer stuff. Like that's like I'm stuck on the main mission that I need to go through an expedition and I need 3 people and I'm like, fuck, I'm screwed.
I've done the expeditions. I haven't done any of the PvP.
How did you do that? Did you just LFG?
Yeah, it didn't take too long, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like it's one of those things that's going to get harder as the game gets older and the player base gets both smaller and higher level.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, and they also make it really hard to do dungeons again. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe this will help with that. So when you get the quest to do the expedition, you get an item, and the item opens the door to the expedition. And you can craft that item, but it takes a fair amount of resources to actually craft. So you can't really just grind a dungeon over and over again. But it does mean that people like you who get it from the quest will theoretically not have too hard a time getting people to join your party. It's a theory. I don't know if it holds up. Yeah, in terms of watching things, I've basically just been watching Taskmaster from various countries, because Taskmaster like literally franchised out to different countries. Like Taskmaster New Zealand, same soundtrack, like same set design, almost like identical stuff. I assume, as far as I know, it seems like a legitimate, sanctioned, like give us money and you can use Taskmaster title stuff. So I watched the first season of that, and I started watching the first season of Taskmaster Norway. Yeah, it's good background hijinks. But that's pretty much it. That's all I did.
What about you, Shar? I said that in a weird voice. I'm sorry.
What about you?
What about you, Mike Wazowski?
Yeah.
I don't want Disney to.
I played a few hours of Kenna, the Bridge of Spirits. The Bridge of Spirits? The Spirit Bridge.
I know that name.
My wife was playing that. She said it was really. She said it was kind of hard, actually, but she said it was really nice.
I was just getting there. Like, okay, so Kenna, the Bridge of Spirits things of the Spirit Bridge. So it's like a cute little indie game.
Yes.
Maybe not little. Like there's like like hubs and all that. There's quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah.
The spirits are just like cute little like fluffy dust bunny looking things. It's just but there are also other types of spirits. But sorry, the one that you get is called rot. I guess they're kind of spirits, but called rot, whatever. So you're like you're going around. It's a pretty game. It's obviously a ripoff of Zelda Breath of the Wild because there's so much green in it, because that's what everybody says, like, oh, this game has some green in it. It's a ripoff of Breath of the Wild. Like, fuck you. But it's...
they invented green.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Nintendo
apparently
invented
every
the
blade
color
of
green.
Yeah, if you look really closely at a blade of grass, there's just trademark Zelda on all of them.
Like all the Zelda, the Triforce on it.
I think
exactly.
That's a pretty big problem with gamers, though. It's just comparing things to Zelda. Like 50% of games are some Zelda ripoff at this point.
Like it's just
that's true. Also,
like, I'll read an article like, oh, this is a cool looking game, and they'll be like, oh, this game is what happens when you cross Grand Theft Auto with like Stardew Valley or some shit. What, do you shoot the crops in this? Like, whatever, man.
I wonder why gamers do that for games and not movies as much. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Anyway, sorry I interrupted you.
Yes.
Continue talking about
it. Yeah, it's a really cute game. A lot of puzzle platforming kind of stuff. Third-person 3D. And the game really opens up when you get your bow. I haven't unlocked my, the next one. I have the spear, I have the bow. The next one I haven't unlocked yet. I see in the skill tree thing. Really opens up with the bow, especially combat, because with the bow you can when you're in the air you can slow down time when you're aiming, which is cool. It's always cool. But also there are these like flower things
Yeah.
that you can shoot your bow at, and then it will propel you towards the flower thing. So there was one specific fight. I was on like the treetops with like wooden platforms, and then like 3 wooden platforms, and I was able to like switch between the platforms using the bow string thing, which is I like that, like needing to always change your. Holy hell, the combat is hard.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
The difficulty spike, like it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
And
that's what I heard.
and it's like a really cute game, and the boss and there's a little bit of like you have to parry, you gotta time your shit right, and your character moves like shit a little bit sometimes and doesn't dodge far enough sometimes. And you can't dodge too soon because enemies will adjust to you even though their animation has started. Fuck.
Over tracking.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten used to that. Like, when should I dodge as soon as the animation starts? Like, where, like, that one.
I like that from a mechanical perspective, like making it harder. But from like, I also hate it. It just feels like I dodged. I shouldn't be hit
Exactly.
if I dodged.
So, there's also side stuff you can do. So, like, finding more rod will increase your level. Then you can upgrade more stuff. Finding this, finding that. There are these things called meditation spots that apparently upgrades your health, and I did not know that. I've only gotten my first one after like the first few boss fights. So yeah, do that. Do those things. But the problem is, I feel like a lot of those things are locked behind like, I need to get an item to do this kind of thing, and the item I need to get later on. So it gets tough before you can get that item to like one of the boss fights, 3 hits and I'm dead, and I'm like, fuck. Very quite frustrating. Combat was way harder than I thought it would be, and I'm playing on normal. I think like that's easy on hard or something.
Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, I heard the combat was like a Dark Soulsian.
Yeah, so
Whatever the hell that means.
there's no stamina
That's what I
bar
heard.
because Dark Souls invented a stamina bar.
Yeah, obviously
That's
invented that,
dodge
so.
rolling, which also something Dark Souls created.
So it's totally
Dodging,
invented.
Yeah. And that's
But it was just
melee
the
weapons too, I guess.
difficulty.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
difficulty,
apparently.
like
But yeah, it's just the difficulty and knowing the right timing to dodge.
needing
was
to
what I
actually
heard,
time
yeah.
the things that you do. Like you have a shield, like a bubble thing. You can take damage with that, like, but you can also use that to parry. So there's a timing in that. Then the dodging also has timing, and your health just is like fucking pointless.
Dude, that's the worst too. Like the reason, part of the reason I don't like the overhead tracking things is like a dodge should be just like get out of danger thing. The risky thing should be parrying. Like if you dodge, you should be safe because you didn't do like the high risk, high reward thing of like parrying.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And
Unless
it's
you're
not a hard
unless
rule,
it's,
but
yeah, unless instead of parry versus dodge, it's dodge versus like shield. Like not a lot
Block.
of games do this, but or block, yeah, but the idea is like if you block, you will take a little damage but not as much damage. If you dodge, you might take no damage but you might risk, messing
Right.
up the dodge. So yeah, there's different ways to do it for sure.
It's a good game though. I definitely recommend it if you like
Yeah.
Zelda Breath of the Wild.
If you like Dark Soulsian, Breath of the Wild.
It definitely has like some cool puzzle platforming elements to it. Combat is actually quite fun. Just gotta learn how to parry and dodge, I guess. It does get hard. So if you like a challenge, which I wasn't expecting to say, playing this game.
Yeah.
If you like a challenge, play this really cute game, I guess.
I do know that their easier mode is very, very easy. Like it's meant to be more if you just want to experience the story.
Yeah, it's called
I
story
did.
mode or something. I can't remember.
Yep. Yeah, they do have a mode like that if you just want to. Because apparently the
That's
story
cool.
is also very touching and kind of sad.
Yeah.
So.
So honestly, it's a good game. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
In terms of watching stuff, I did not watch anything. No, I don't think so. Yeah, some Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and that's about it. Haven't watched anything. Haven't really bothered watching stuff. That's pretty much it. I guess we played Generation Zero a little bit, me and Fo, and I played it myself a little bit yesterday. Very interesting atmosphere, that game. Very interesting. Yeah, it's Swedish, which is and you can the people actually talk in Swedish, or which is cool.
is it actually Swedish? Or is it
think
like
so?
Norwegian? I don't know. I don't know
I
how to
have
tell.
no
No,
idea.
you're right. It is Swedish. It takes place in Sweden. No,
Yeah, I'm
is
pretty
it
sure it's
Switzerland?
Sweden.
Gosh, dang it!
It's
I forget.
when you in the options you can choose which language, and Swedish was like the main default language.
Okay, yeah, that's probably.
So I assume it's Swedish. The game
Yeah.
game is telling me it's Swedish. And it's cool, like the posters are all in Swedish, but if you look at it with your character, it will translate it for you. And it has that kind of
Swedish.
weird like horror robot kind of stuff. Because it's more like a survival game. Doesn't have like hunger meter or anything, but it's one of those like the robots are quite strong, so you might want
Yeah,
to
I haven't.
pick your battles.
We need to. Once we play more, I'll get a better sense of like what the attrition rate is, like how much time you need to spend like scavenging, like what is like the cost of a fight. You know, I haven't have a good grasp of that yet in terms of resources spent.
I would say definitely the draw of it is the atmosphere, the whole like not being in like military America or whatever, and also like
Yeah.
a lot of the story
I like
is
exploring
given
and
to-
looting.
Yeah, I like that, and also the story is like given to you like bits and pieces of like people recording messages and stuff and letters and all that, and it's like I can't remember when the timeline is, but it's not like super modern sci-fi. Like the robots also look like it almost looked like the one that Ripley got in to fight the alien, like kind of
The
just made
power
out of
loader?
like, yeah, just made of like steel beams and like you know what I'm talking about, right? Like it's a kind that
Yeah,
kind of look,
I mean,
but just with
they look like-
nobody manning it.
Yeah.
Has that like very rustic look, I guess. Doesn't look super sci-fi.
Industrial.
Yeah, industrial. That's it. So atmosphere wise, like it's really cool, honestly. And apparently there's base building and stuff. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Oh yeah, that'll be interesting.
That's always cool. And it's on sale when I got it, so like 70% or something. Yeah.
I don't know if I expect the base building to be like
Robust.
actually building a building or just
Yeah.
like doing quests to unlock functionality inside
Or
of a
it
building.
could be like there's this area that's like 3 squares. You can choose what to do with the 3 squares.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, something like State of
Yeah.
Decay, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting to like it, and I kind of like so. So yeah,
I'm like,
that's
I definitely,
pretty
I will play more for sure.
much- we should play together a bit more. I don't feel so afraid.
Maybe we should
I move
record.
I move so slow playing that myself. Fucking horror stuff, I'm not super into it. Even though it's not like jumpy like alien horror. Like
It's definitely, I mean, it kind of reminds me of 7 Days to Die, which I think they changed things. But like, I remember first playing it like back in 2013 or something, and I had a blast playing it with friends. And then I tried to play it by myself, and I just couldn't do it because I was just too nervous of like zombies all the time. Because they would just like crawl out of the woods at you.
yeah. That's pretty much it. You want to go into news?
I was
As
gonna say one
well.
thing I forgot. It's
yeah.
not that important, but I watched an anime called World Trigger. Have I talked about it before? Season
World
2 or 3. The new season is airing right now. It's only like 4 episodes out.
Oh, okay.
What's the premise?
I don't know what-
Sorry, 4 episodes of the new season. There's like
Looks
100
familiar.
episodes out of the show already. The premise is aliens periodically attack Earth, but the the branch of the government fights them back, and so you follow a guy who's like trying to work his way up the ranks of that branch of government, and the main like alien tech weapon that they use to fight back it's called triggers, and basically it's kind of like
Is this the one that
like-
explains everything in the
yeah.
lore? Ah, right.
It does a very good job of like explaining
Why certain weapons
like-
work against the monsters or something. Right?
like how and why things work. Yeah, it's I mean, watching. So right now the story is like this internal like team fight, like a training session, like in their like danger room, and like the winning team will get to go on a mission to the alien planet. And so right now it's very much like Ender's Game, which is like, okay, like every level we need to think of a new crazy strategy that they're not going to predict, like or whatever. So it's it doesn't move quickly, but it's faster than Spawn. It's fast enough. I think like there's not like boring stuff. It's always like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, the episode's over. Like I'm always surprised when the episode ends because it feels like nothing happened, but I was never bored during it because there's a lot of things that are.
And what's
sort of.
out to season 3?
I want to say season 3 is the current season. Season 1's really long. It's like 70 episodes or something, and then season 2 is like 20 episodes. Here. Okay, that sounds.
The
I think
series
it's like
was
100 episodes
originally
total.
slated to run for 50, ended up having 73. That's a lot of episodes.
Okay, yeah. Season 3 is the currently.
Season 1 has 73 episodes. Season 2 has 12 episodes.
Yeah.
They probably could have
Hajime no
split that a
Ippo
little
does
more
the same
evenly.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
I mean, Steven Universe kind of did the same thing, right? 50 for the first one, and then like.
Did it?
Yeah, that's because basically they decided, because I think that the seasons were meant to be combined into 2, but they were told to make them separate. So.
Cool. So news time. There are a couple of interesting new games that came out. One is called Unpacking. Anybody heard of this one?
I did see. I think I showed up in my Steam banner.
I feel like I saw the name, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
You unpack.
In
It's a Zen puzzle game.
Oh.
And it's
All
getting
right,
a lot
that's
of like not like
Apparently-
a lot, but like for indie like smaller title, it's getting
Yeah,
quite
yeah,
a bit of
yeah.
it's really nice. It
It
just
has
looks nice.
it
and
has
it's, like,
story rich tag, which is funny.
I think it's one of those like you learn from the context of the environment kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
If
what
you're
I've
unpacking
wondered.
a dorm
Yeah.
room, now you're unpacking.
think you're
unpacking for
unpacking-
2.
I think you're
Like,
unpacking
yeah.
for the same person, like following their lives, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that's
Oh,
cute.
hey, she's doing cosplay. She's doing a
Like a Sailor Moon kind
not
of thing.
Powerpuff
right?
Girls, Sailor Moon.
Powerpuff Girls.
So yeah, I'm interested in trying this one. It looks like just a really nice, fun little thing. And
Yeah.
I like it.
The story
It's
unique.
$20 though.
it is $20. It's quite a bit. The other one I thought was interesting is called Demon Turf. Look it up.
I don't know.
Visually, it looks really cool. Demon Turf. It's a
Turf,
3D
whatever.
That's a good
platformer
name.
with like 2D sprites. So it looks like a Paper Mario kind of
It's a
thing.
free demo.
Looks really like just visually it looks really nice, and gameplay wise also.
okay.
I do like that 2D 3D combo.
Yeah,
That's
I've
sweet.
watched like a video on it, and they really like the game. Like just overall, it's just it's not perfect, but it's like really good,
Nice.
and visually it's just.
Oh,
really
I like the
beautiful.
music.
Yeah, I definitely want to get this.
Damn it.
Other than that, Let's Build a Zoo just came out like yesterday, I think. Yeah,
Let's build a
What's it
zoo.
called?
Let's build a zoo. It's like
So
it's time to build a zoo. Construct and decorate enclosures, buy and breed animals, hire zookeepers and vets, then try your hand at DNA splicing and stitch together over 300,000 different types of animals.
So it's like
This can
Zoo
only go
Simulator.
smoothly. Yeah, pretty much.
But with breeding.
It looks like a pixely cute pixel like that
It's
kind of-
Pixely Zoo Tycoon, but with
Yeah.
breeding.
Zoo Tycoon. That's Zoo Simulator. I was trying to think of the term. Yeah, Zoo
I mean, I
Tycoon.
think I would not be surprised if there's also a Sim Zoo.
Yeah, I'm sure
Probably.
there is somehow. So they gave some examples of the types of DNA splicing you can
Yeah.
do. You can splice a chicken and a
Wow.
cow to make a chick cow. You can splice a crocodile and a duck to make a crocoduck.
What?
I wanna crook. I want to name them.
This reminds me of there's a game called what is it called? Creatures CI.
Is it the one where
It's an
is it like an
RTS.
RTS?
It was
though?
an RTS, yeah.
Yeah, you like it's like an alligator with a shark face and a scorpion stinger. Like
I think that sounds familiar. I think we had that computer game.
Creature Instincts is it's on Steam. It's an old RTS.
I never
I-
played it, but I remember like seeing it like at like the
Yeah.
video game store. Be like, this
I
looks
have
crazy.
it now. I always wanted to play as a kid, but just didn't have it. So
That's cool.
Natural Instincts?
Creature is
No.
CI. I know the first one is Creatures or something.
Okay, CI. I feel like if I see the cover...
Impossible Creatures. Impossible Creatures.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember this game. Yes, I was like, isn't it got the weird tiger in the front?
Weird
or
tiger
something?
with the crab claws.
With the crab. Yeah. Yeah, we had this computer game. It was weird. That's all I remember. It was weird.
Sorry, it's a tiger face on a scorpion body. Is what? Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. This game was weird. That's all I remember.
Yeah. Give me more weird games. Like, just give me more weird games.
It kind of gives me some Spore vibes too.
Wait, are you talking about Impossible Creatures or Let's Build?
Impossible Creatures.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
I really enjoy
you
Spore.
Too.
Yes.
You know, you two should follow. Sorry, there's this random Twitter that I follow called Obscure Game Aesthetics, and all they do is just it, and a lot of it's usually like older games, but they'll also do like newer games too. But they'll just retweet random games that you've probably never heard of. Some of them are old, some of them are new, but with like older design. I don't know. They're just kind of fun when they pop up on my timeline every once in a while.
Followed.
Yeah, obscure games or something. Obscure game aesthetics, I think it's called. It's fun. It's a fun page on Twitter.
Raw Danger, isn't that the? Oh, I love the what is it? Have you all heard of? Have you played like what is it called? Shit. There's a series of this Disaster Report. Have you played a game called Disaster Report?
I think I watched a Let's Play of it.
I forgot which one I played. I think the first one on the PS2. And it's a Japanese game because of course. You just try to survive like an earthquake kind of thing. And there's like you can replay it, there's like multiple like choices you can make. And you just try to survive. You can choose to help certain people or not help them, play through them multiple times, and it's just really compelling, honestly. Disaster Report 4 is on Steam.
Yeah, I just see. That's all I'm seeing
$60.
around here is Disaster Report 4.
That one was supposed to have come out quite a while ago, but it was supposed to come out the year that a disaster happened in Japan, so they just kind of stopped it. Yeah. I believe it was the earthquake that fucked up the nuclear plant. Was it?
Okay, that's the last big one that I heard
It was
of.
a big
Anyway.
one, yeah.
Okay, yeah. This article says it came out after like a 9-year delay.
Yeah, that's probably why.
So yeah. It was meant to be 2011.
Yeah, that's why it looks kind of old.
Yep, it was the Tohoku earthquake. Yep, and the tsunami. So yeah,
I've been wanting to get Disaster Report 4 for a while now.
Yeah,
I'll probably get it like one of these days. It's just really fun to play. Like it's a survival game more or less, but it's more focused on like trying to survive and like making choices rather than shooting zombies.
Right. A little more realistic and probably a little sad.
Yeah, because you can choose to like help or not help people depending on what you have, if you're able or not able to help people, that kind of thing. That's what I remember playing Disaster Report 1 at least. So yeah, Demon Turf, I guess.
Yeah.
Really, really, I love the aesthetics. Other than that, I only have like one small little thing, I guess. Guardians of the Galaxy is apparently out and getting really good reviews. People are really loving it. It's like a proper single player experience.
All right.
Gameplay is good. Combat, story, and like dialogue, everything, writing is also good. So it's like a really good AAA game. Cool.
Wow.
And apparently 80% of the Guardians of the Galaxy game was written by former testers, QA. So it's
That's interesting.
This person, Jocelyn Baxter, just tweeted like to all the game devs out there that undervalue and hold back QA, 80% of the Guardians of the Galaxy game was written by former testers. Yeah, so that's cool. Very cool.
It is interesting. Yeah, especially since the Marvel game didn't really do
that one's
very
by
well.
Crystal Dynamics, the people that made all the new Tomb Raider games.
Right.
And I feel like also like they weren't a good fit. That's on Square Enix.
Yeah.
That's not on Crystal Dynamics. And I'm sure Crystal Dynamics were given a lot of instructions on what to do, probably because it's a games as a service type thing.
Right. Curious.
But
all right, cool.
Interesting enough, Square Enix did come up with a statement about that. Probably because Guardians of the Galaxy has been getting so much good reviews, and people have been like, "Why the Avengers sucks? Like this was so much better." Blah blah blah. And Square Enix actually came out with an official statement about it, saying we chose the wrong studio in Crystal Dynamics for the Avengers, and I feel like that's throwing them under the bus a little bit.
Yeah,
Probably.
that certainly feels like it.
Like Square, this is on you. It's just
probably just stay quiet.
yeah.
Yeah, well.
So yeah, Sarah, you got something?
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I mean, I wouldn't say it's sad. So there's Activision Blizzard is once again being kind of weird. One thing that's been interesting is that they did at one point try to halt the lawsuit. Thankfully, that was rejected.
How were they hoping to do that?
So I'm gonna try my best to explain because I'm a little confused about it too. But basically they let me see really quick here. Let me see what happened exactly. There was like a conflict of interest they tried to argue. Something about let me see. The DFEH opposed the settlement, saying it would cause irreparable harm to its own lawsuit. The EOC then hit back, revealing two of the lawyers heading up the case had formerly worked with. So something about the people that were heading up the case had originally like already worked on a similar case, and so there was a conflict of interest concern. However, the LA County judge just said, no, we're going to continue. This is bigger than that. So I don't know the full details, but something about there were two people that are involved at this that have potentially a conflict of interest with moving forward with this case, but I guess that was taken care of. They did, about a week ago, make an announcement on some things. No, CEO Bobby Kotick is not stepping down, which is what should happen. But his paycheck is supposedly going to be in half. So it's just going from $1.75 million to $875,000. I guess at least it's less than $1 million, but it's still kind of like, okay. However, he still has so much money in stock, so it's kind of pointless. But they're doing that, I guess, officially. He also is doing some changes. The big thing that he's doing that is pretty major is they waived the arbitration stuff, which is really important because that used to be the problem, that employees could not basically arbitrate individual claims of sexual harassment and stuff like that, but now they can. So that's pretty big news. They also try to be like, we're going to do more pay equity stuff. They're trying to do this thing that says they're going to increase the percentage of women and non-binary people in the workforce. 50%, this says. And are going to invest $250 million to accelerate opportunities for diverse talent.
$250 million spread out over 10 years, I believe.
Okay, yep.
Yeah,
so we'll see how that goes. I'm just impressed they even mentioned women and non-binary. I'm like, oh, okay. Again, it's kind of we'll have to see about that. They're saying they're going to have a zero tolerance policy on harassment. We'll see how that gets divided. They're going to, what is it they're also going to do? Regular updates and, yeah. So the arbitration thing is the big thing. So yeah, for any Activision Blizzard employees who choose not to arbitrate an individual claim of sexual harassment, unlawful discrimination, or related retaliation arising in the future, the company will waive any obligation to do so. So it's good news on that front. That's pretty big. So we'll see. I still think Bobby Kotick needs to get fired. and they need to
like 50
start
years
over.
ago.
Yeah, exactly. But that sounds like it's not going to happen. It sounds like he's got way too much pull. I just read this, but apparently he asked the company's board to keep his compensation at the minimum level allowed by law. I don't know what the hell that means. Until the board has determined that we have achieved the transformational gender-related goals and other commitments. So, whatever the fuck that means. But anyway, so we'll see. It's one of those like, yeah, I mean, yep, this is what you need to do. I think there's more, but this is what they're at least going to do from here, and I'll see if they follow it. Again, we'll see. Again, my problem is that Bobby Kotick was definitely complicit in all this shit.
Yeah.
So, like,
Hell yeah.
why does he get to stay? But whatever. It's not my choice.
Did they say how much is
unrelated
Yeah.
Unrelated in air quotes, didn't like the Vice CEO like announce she was leaving recently? Like there was not like the head person. Somebody announced that they were leaving at the end of the year.
I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't heard personally, but I wouldn't be surprised. There have been some big wigs that are leaving, and I think they actually hired somebody in that I think was originally like part of the protest, but don't quote me on that. I might be misremembering something.
This CEO who's leaving has only been there like 3 months, I think. Or no, maybe or maybe they promoted her up to that position 3 months ago. It wasn't clear to me if she joined the company or had just been promoted, but she's only been in that role for 3 months.
That's fair. I mean, to be honest with you, if I was in this company, I'd be jumping ship. It sounds scary. I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, the article I was reading had like a quote from somebody inside who's like, because of above average, was it voluntary turnover or something like that? Like, we're not firing people, they're just leaving.
They're just leaving because
it's basically canceling out our hiring efforts.
Yeah. But yes, in response to this, Blizzard canceled one of their big like convention things.
They did?
They did.
BlizzCon 2022 canceled.
Huh.
Yep, that was canceled. Yep. So BlizzCon was canceled.
Because of what? It's not pandemic, right?
I mean, no.
They didn't say. They just said like
it's not pandemic related.
Yeah. I don't even think they gave a reason. They were just like, we can't do it. Sorry. They're
It
gonna
might
do
be a
something else.
manpower thing.
Maybe, I don't know. I almost said World of Darkness. That's a tabletop game. World of Warcraft, WoW, I guess is apparently trying to do a whole panel thing of like 100 players to figure out. It's like a test focus group or something like that.
Top 100 players in the world kind of thing.
I don't know if it's top players because that you can't really do that in an MMO. But I think it's like they're
going to be like just for the top people.
Yeah, they're just choosing 100 players for like a focus group thing. Which, yes, my first question was, how are they choosing those players? Because that could really impact some things.
Yep.
I don't know anything beyond that. And also, like, everything is, like, super delayed. Every game that they wanted to come out is delayed. Some people are wondering if some of the big things, like the new Doom game or Doom remake and stuff like that, was, like, actually ever kind of in progress.
Doom under them?
Is it? Did I mess up the games? Is it not Doom? Or is it Diablo? I'm sorry.
Diablo's them.
Diablo 2 is
Diablo,
out. The
sorry.
remake is out. Yeah.
Sorry.
But Diablo 4 got pushed back.
Diablo 4 got pushed back.
Yep. Sorry, I mixed up. I know they're not the same game, but
the two big games is Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2, right? I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they both got and those got delayed. There's some rumors that whether they actually have been really working on those at all. So delays. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Blizzard's not doing super hot right now, but we'll see. I actually knew some people that bought stock because I think in one of these there was someone else.
Right now.
Yeah, they just dropped really low. So I don't know much more than that, but I did hear I do have some friends that bought stock because it dipped dramatically during one of the announcements. I forget which one. I'm sure it's back up now, but it did fall at one point. Yeah, that's all I got about Blizzard. They're having fun over there. I just hope that this becomes more than anything just a not necessarily a warning, but I want to be like the herald for things to come, for big changes to actually happen, but we'll see. That's all I got.
I actually pre-ordered Shining Pearl.
Oh, did you?
I've never played. I don't have the DS games. It's way fucking too expensive for this shit. Yeah, so might as well get a new remake. So I can't wait.
Cool.
I wasn't able to choose. Honestly, it was difficult. And then I decided to like wish legendary I want more, I guess. Because the exclusive Pokemons was just like I want them all. So Foe, if you want to get into this, you know which one to get. So yeah, I'm just saying.
You bet.
Tempting. I might.
The other one.
I think Diamond was the one I played on the DS, and I don't think I finished it.
So yeah, I'm looking forward.
I think I got stuck, or like I took a break and then forgot where I was supposed to go, and I just never actually beat the Elite Four in that one.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 is also coming out in like a few days, I believe. It's in November.
Yes. There's been the only thing I really know is I guess the main character is not a girl. I guess it's just a very feminine looking guy, which come on, man. Do you really need a character with the pants so bad? Anyway,
yeah.
The only other thing I've heard is there was a weird Twitter thing at one point because I guess some journalist was comparing it to Persona 5 and saying
you should never do that. These Atlas fans, come on.
Yeah, they got nuts.
That's like
they went nuts on her. Yeah, they went nuts on her. So that was not great.
On her, fuck, that makes it worse.
In fact, if I recall correctly, I believe it's a trans woman who was doing it too. So yeah, it got bad. It's not anybody I follow. It's just somebody commenting about how bad it had gotten.
Do you know which article or like news site?
Someone mentioned IGN, but maybe I misremembered. A lot of this was just trying to put together context clues from someone else, like reposting it. So I could be incorrect, but I thought it was IGN. But you can look it up, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, it was some reporter that kind of compared it to Persona 5, and the fans of Shin Megami Tensei got really, really mad.
It doesn't matter that, it's like, isn't it the same creator or something?
I mean, yeah, basically, it's Persona, Shin Megami Tensei's Persona was the first game. And then they did Shin Megami Tensei's Persona 2, and then after that, they diverged. And so then it became Persona 3 and Shin Megami Tensei something or other.
If somebody who's played both and loved both, are they able to tell me the difference? I know Shin Megami tends to be darker.
They tend to be
Persona
darker.
Tends to be, at least for 3, 4, 5, they kind of focus on more like high school kids. But Shin Megami also kind of focus on like...
Apparently, this is the first one that's done high schoolers in a while. Apparently, the other ones may be more adults. I haven't played them,
but that's
so I
kind
can't
of
tell
mostly. The battle is a bit different. You have a party. Shin Megami, you technically don't have a party. You just have yourself and the demons.
I think it's just you, and you get to summon the demons.
And Persona is like everybody gets to summon their own special persona, and you are the one that has all the demons and your personas.
Yeah. Yep, and I think also Shin Megami Tensei is way more about the actual like battle mechanics stuff. Well, so is Persona, but there's the social links and there's
Shin Megami don't have like all the social stuff. Yeah, it's so different. How can people like that? Oh.
I know, right? The art style is pretty similar. The monsters are pretty much carbon copies. You see them in both.
Yeah.
So
both has that demon on the toilet seat. So. Yeah, it's obviously the same game, people.
Yeah, it is definitely one of those things where obviously Persona has gotten more mainstream, which is so funny to me. But it's gotten more mainstream. Persona 5 just did really well. Persona 4 was kind of the start of it. It did pretty well, but Persona 5, like, I knew people that knew nothing about the Persona
Persona 4 was
series.
probably so big because it was on the Vita, and Japanese love their handheld gaming.
Yeah.
Was 5 the first one on PC?
5 is never on PC.
So.
Persona 4 is on PC.
Yeah, Persona 4 is now on PC.
Persona 4 is the first one on PC.
Maybe this one.
Right? Wait, well, Persona 1,
Well,
2, 3 on the PC
Persona 4 Golden is what
No.
I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's 4 Golden. You're right. Persona
No,
5
because it's like,
Strikers is on Steam. I don't know what that is.
because sometimes there's
Strikers
like
is
that
a
weird,
different-
like, you know how Final Fantasy hasn't been on PC for a long time until like recently,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
But there's like,
That's-
but did
that
you know
was-
originally like 7 and 8 was released on the PC as well?
That's funny.
Yeah, I actually used to have like
I
the
can believe
box
it.
set for like 7 and 8. So
That's funny.
I thought it was like one of
But
those
yeah.
weird things, you know, like just really long time ago that
Yeah.
just got released on
Yeah.
PC or something.
Yep. But no, Persona 5, it just kind of came out of nowhere, and I think a lot
I
of
guess,
people who weren't normally fans just really liked the aesthetic. And then just went for it. So it just boomed in popularity. I mean, a lot of people I knew who had never played a Persona game picked this up because they were like, I love the aesthetic. I find the aesthetic a little busy myself.
Oh, you
I
mean
also
like the HUD and
have
the UI and everything?
Yeah. I also kind of swear off of Persona games until you can play an actual proper female protagonist, but that's a different story.
I
At this
definitely
point, it's just more of a
understand if
joke.
you're like, you know, yeah, I just
It's more of a
the
joke at this
protagonist
point. I don't
doesn't
actually care.
talk.
Matter. That's what I mean. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Every time I get into this argument. And again, like, I don't actually care. It actually, the reason, it started off as a joke because Persona 3, they did do a remake at one point that did add a female protagonist, but it was pretty lazy. I'll just leave it at that. It was pretty lazily done.
You mean the PSP?
And any... Yeah. And any other iterations never include her in it. Like, it's hard. And then Persona 4 I knew about, and then I was kind of like, oh man, I know this game's older, but hopefully in the next one. And then when Persona 5 came out and it still didn't, I was like, what year are we in? Fire Emblem's over here being like, yeah, I don't care. Choose your protagonist, gender, and all that stuff.
The
And Persona
protagonist
5
gender in Fire Emblem, how long has that been a thing?
since Awakening.
Awakening. That's the one on the 3DS, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to Fire Emblem, not trying to be like, oh, it's so much better. To be fair to Fire Emblem, it's kind of, it didn't, so, you know how in Fire Emblem games, like, you, the protagonist, are the tactician?
Yes.
Like, you're the one that's...
You're like the leader, general type thing.
Yeah. So, but you also notice how you are the tactician, but there's also a leader character. In Awakening, it's Chrom and you, the tactician. Fates didn't really have one, but then in the Three Houses, it's you and the house leader,
yeah.
right? So in the older Fire Emblem games, the tactician was a character, but that didn't have an actual character. It was you, the player. So the actual, like, the leader, like the Chrom equivalents in those games, like Marth and them, would talk to a tactician, but they were talking to you directly, the player. So that's how they did it back then. So there was also no romance and stuff like that you had to worry about. It was just you, the tactician, leading everybody else around. So that was kind of whatever. But then in later games, like Awakening, they decided to make the tactician a playable character, and then they decided to make them be able to choose your gender and have romance options. And I was like, oh wow, that's awesome. And for some reason, Persona can't catch up, which I feel like I always get into this anger every time. But anyway, the joke came because I thought for sure that Persona 5 Royal was going to have a female playable protagonist.
Come
like,
on,
it
you should know
seemed
better
like
by
that
now.
was... I know, but there was a bunch of rumors that were like, yeah, it's totally happening.
I feel
and
like
so
that
I
was
made
just fans hoping that would be a thing.
Fans hoping. It's all it was. There was no concrete evidence. The best they could manage was when he was announced for Smash, there was a female-looking option as far as what he looks like. And so people thought that was meant to show
so is
that there was a
that a thing
female.
in Smash? Like, you can choose...
I don't know,
Okay.
but that's what people were saying. I haven't actually found it. I haven't looked into it, but that was what people were saying. And so that's why there was like all this like, oh yeah, it's totally happening, guys. Persona 5 Royal. And so I made a joke. I was like, all right, well, if it doesn't, I'm refusing to play it. And because I thought it would have it, because I wanted to play the game, and then it didn't, and I was really pissed. So anyway, enough about that. Shin Megami Tensei is apparently... They were like, sure, we'll have a feminine-looking protagonist. I'm like, why do you want your character to wear pants and have a dick so bad? Why do you care?
So yeah,
Anyway.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 is literally just Persona 5. Just literally.
Shh, don't tell anybody. Don't say
It's the
that.
same thing.
They're going to get you.
It's the same thing.
Without the social links. It actually has less gameplay. What the hell?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And this is why I prefer Persona. There's just like, I like my social links. I like going out on dates and like doing those
I
kind of
know.
visual novel shit.
What a concept.
Yeah.
Gosh, how dare you? Pleb, I'm just kidding.
Hopefully, I'm also hopefully to get it one day. That Metroidvania game, the new one, Metroid Dread.
Yes. Metroid Dread. Yep.
That Metroidvania game, Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Metroidvania game.
I wonder if that will piss off anybody. So yeah. I don't really have anything else. That's just mostly it.
That's all I have.
Fo, did you have anything? I forgot.
I mean, I had the funny story of Valve deciding to put Left 4 Dead 2 on sale during the Halloween sale, which caused its player base to spike above Turtle Rock Games' more recent entry in the genre, Back 4 Blood.
Oops.
So I don't. It's just I obviously if it's more of a Valve choice than a Turtle Rock choice, it's just I wonder how deliberately malicious it was, or just like standard. Like it's a sale, we put Left 4 Dead 2 on for $2 every sale. Like I don't know.
I feel like it's some of that stuff is almost semi-automated. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Like,
But I mean,
just feel like
it's just funny because I think Turtle Rock did go with a different publisher because Valve published Left 4 Dead, but they did not publish Back 4 Blood.
That's funny. Yeah.
Just like a quick sort of related thing, I guess. Sarah, you were talking about how like Activision Blizzard is like kind of rocky right now. Yeah, they only generated 1.2 billion in revenue in like from July to September. No. It's so bad. Yeah. From only microtransactions.
How will they pay their CEOs?
Only microtransactions.
Yeah, that's not enough to pay his salary. Yeah. What's he gonna do?
So sad.
I don't.
Makes me sick.
Companies. I don't get these companies.
So yeah.
How much in taxes did they pay?
Probably zero.
None of them.
Yeah.
Probably zero.
Good place to wrap up, I guess, with that.
Sure, yeah. Woo! Pay your taxes, folks, or not.
Pay your taxes.
Yeah, pay your taxes, or not, I guess. I mean, I do. I feel strongly about it, but I mean, whatever. You do what you want.
Taxes are good. It's just the people using them are like...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'd love to pay more taxes if they wouldn't go to putting out like spikes on seats so homeless people have to sleep on less comfortable things. So that's not what I gave you the money to do. Like I wanted you to, build houses and pay for medicine. I don't know.
I know. I didn't want drones. Why did you get more drones?
Not increase the suffering of the world.
You're sounding like a communist right now. Medicine?
Yeah.
Paying for medicine?
I get you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
If communism means less suffering.
Exactly. This is Sarahscopic. Definitely not telling you to commit tax fraud or be a communist. Sarahscopic. I'm mostly on Twitter these days. You can catch me on RNG&T. You can also catch me on my wife's show. Just look up Escalia, Eskalia.
And I'm Foehamner. You can find me on YouTube.
I'm Pupunoob, Pupunoob, all the places. This has been episode 189 of the playonultra podcast. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.